Hey guys, Joe from the Crazy New York Driver Show with today's video for Friday, January 24th, 2014. Hope you've all been doing well. If you're wondering why I'm recording this week's video from my house, it's really simple. Right now, it's actually Thursday night when I'm starting this video because tomorrow, Friday, I will not be available to make a video. So I'm actually starting filming tonight, and by the time I edit it and get it all together, I'll have it ready to go up sometime tomorrow, Friday, as I'm supposed to. This has been a very brutal winter so far. We had another snowstorm the other day, absolutely horrible. I might include a clip of me snowblowing since you all loved that last time, but if the video runs long, I'll have to cut that out and not put that in. Let me firstly read the topics I want to cover today, and then we'll get into them. I want to talk about eBay customer service. That's going to be the main topic of today's video. We're also going to talk about eBay cases that have been opened against you or that you have opened against others. We're also going to talk about the eBay webinar, which is going to be next Thursday, the 30th. That's going to be about the global shipping program. And we're going to talk about some pickups that I got. I've been wanting to make a toy truck and toy car video. I'm going to do some of that today. And we're going to talk about some concerns that you folks have expressed regarding last week's video. And I think we're going to start right out with that and get that out of the way before we jump into the eBay section. Regarding last week's video, thank you to over 1,000 of you wonderful people who watched the video. Thank you very much. I love when people watch my stuff and comment. It's an open forum. You're allowed to comment anything you want. However, quite a few of you good people have written to me since last week's video went up saying you were harassed because you commented on my video. Most of you people know the ongoing saga that I'm being stalked by a cyber stalker. You know who it is. You know he's also stalking my friend Jason DeCandio, my friend Peter, Matt, Moomart, and a bunch of others. The man is sick, and the man's going to be dealt with by the authorities. One of you good people wrote to me and said you thought that he was going to be actually put away in an insane asylum. And I kind of chuckled at that because I've always had him pictured in jail. But you know, seeing him next to people like Jack Nicholson in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, that might be acceptable too. Because the man is certifiably insane. I think he suffers from multi-personality, not split personality, not two, but more, several personalities. The man's really a mess. Okay? Thank you guys to those of you who've been retweeting my tweets about the situation. I'm going to be putting some links below like I always do. I'm going to put my Twitter link down there. I'm up to I think 140 or 141 followers, which is really like nothing on Twitter, but I'm growing, and thanks to you guys who've been helping me out. I'm also going to put a link to my friend Peter's video. In case a bunch of you guys don't know Peter, or some of you do, my friend Spoken Zaga Pete is also a victim of the cyber stalker. And he made a video recently, which I think you guys should see if you haven't already. I'll put a link to that below. And of course, a link to the site about the cyber stalker. If any of you guys were harassed and feel you're in any danger, I urge you to go at once to your local police department and file a report. All the information you need will be on the site below, or you can contact me directly with a PM and I'll help you out. Be sure to tell your local police department to contact the Canton, Michigan police and work and coordinate with them. Okay, I think they're finally going to get on board. But more about that in another video. I want to talk about eBay tonight, or today. Okay. First thing, very quickly, on Thursday there'll be an eBay webinar. It's going to be at 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. It's going to be about the global shipping program. I think that's a very important topic. I do not partake of the global shipping program because I have too many concerns that have not been answered. However, I'm not opposed to it if my concerns are answered. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the webinar. If you guys have any particular questions you want me to ask, type them below. Any concerns you have. I'll be more than happy to submit those questions to be answered, but I can't guarantee what questions they're going to choose to answer, because last time they didn't answer any of the ones I typed in. Now maybe we ran out of time, or maybe they have set answers they only want to come forth with. But we'll find out next Thursday. I'd like to now talk about the main topic, which is going to be eBay customer service. As you know, eBay farmed its customer service out to the Philippines. We've been talking about this a lot over the last year or two. And quite frankly, and I want to be honest here, guys, I feel that all U.S. companies should keep the jobs here in the United States. Take care of us first. That's my personal feeling, okay? But since eBay is farming their jobs overseas, let's talk about that. You may remember last year, especially toward the end of last year, I made several videos saying I had called eBay customer service, en route to the Philippines, and my concerns and questions were not answered, and the representatives were not knowledgeable and seemed to be reading off a script. Well, guys, I called eBay customer service the other day and last week, as you may remember, and I'm very happy to report that I found both representatives to be very helpful and knowledgeable. Now, it's possible I just was lucky and got two good guys, or it's possible eBay is actually really teaching the people the material they need to know and how to run eBay and how eBay runs. You may remember in last week's video, I told you the story about how I called eBay customer service, and the guy was very helpful and friendly regarding a person who bid on my auction, paid for it, and then said his 3-year-old kid actually made the deal and the guy wanted his money back. A lot of you people wrote in saying you had the same problem with people claiming their little kids bid on the item and they weren't paying. That's been happening to me for years. Guys, if it happens to you, report them to eBay. Number one, it's against the law. It's against eBay rules for a person not to safeguard their account. Number two, I think DIFAS should be contacted if adults are letting their 3-year-old babies online, on the internet, bidding on items. That shows a lack of control and a lack of supervision. Just my opinion. But to get back to the representative, let me tell you what happened to me, because it's something that never happened to me in the 14 years I've been on eBay, and it concerns feedback. So the other day, I'm checking my feedback, and I see I got a couple of new ones. And one of them, it was a positive, of course. Why would it be otherwise? And the guy wrote this comment. It was for an Oldsmobile hubcap, by the way. Was it an Oldsmobile? No, maybe it wasn't an Oldsmobile. It was definitely a hubcap of some kind. And the guy wrote, he checked off positive, and he wrote, "Doesn't keep my hands warm. Not as described. Scammer." And I'm like, doesn't keep my hands warm? It's a freaking hubcap. It's not supposed to keep your hands warm. So the guy was a newbie, and he had a feedback of 3. So I said, I think I know what happened here. So I clicked on the feedback he left for others, and sure enough, right before he left my feedback, he left another guy negative feedback. A guy that sells apparel, you know, like gloves and stuff like that. And he left the guy negative feedback with the exact same terminology. Doesn't keep my hands warm. Not as described. Scammer. So apparently the guy sold him some gloves that the guy didn't like. So then he went to leave my feedback, clicked positive, and accidentally somehow pasted in the exact same comment and left it for me. Now, while it counts as a positive, it said not as described and scammer, and that doesn't look good. Plus, I'm not sure if he also banged my DSRs as well. So I decided I had to pursue this. So I called eBay customer service and got routed to the Philippines. So I explained to the representative what had happened, and the guy was understanding, but he said, listen, I have to transfer you to Trust and Safety to handle this problem. So, all right, he transfers me, kept me on hold. I was on hold for a good 4 or 5 minutes. A representative gets on, I explain to him what's happening. He looks at the eBay buyer, the feedback he left for the other seller, and he says, Joseph, I definitely see what you're talking about, and I agree with you. It looks like that was left in error. Now you're going to have to give me some time. I got to go to my superior and get this approved, and we'll remove the feedback. So that took another 4 or 5 minutes or so. And he came back, and he was very nice, very apologetic, said he was sorry for keeping me so long, and that the feedback would be removed. And within maybe less than 15 minutes, it was removed. So that was a success. The important points that I'm trying to bring to you is that the representatives were knowledgeable, they knew what they were talking about, and they were helpful. Now, this could be the start of something good. It's possible eBay is actually teaching the representatives in the Philippines how to handle people and how the system works. So, 2 thumbs up for the 2 good representatives I got in the Philippines the last 2 weeks. I also spoke to a couple of you good people who wrote in that you had positive experiences with your representatives in the Philippines as well. So what I'd like is if any of you guys have called eBay customer service in the last 2 weeks, comment below whether it was positive or a negative experience and a brief summary of what happened. I think this is good news. All right. Cases. I had a case opened against me by a person who did not mean to open the case against me. You know, and I figured he didn't mean to. What he did was he bought an item, he got the item, he wrote to me and said, hey, listen, the item's great, but it's too big. I made a mistake, I didn't read it. Could I send it back? But when he contacted me, he clicked the button that says item not as described, and that automatically opens a case against me. I wrote to him, I said, listen, buddy, I'll gladly give you your money back, no problem. But do you realize you opened a case against me? I said, I truthfully don't think you realized it because eBay has it set up with an adversarial point of view. It shouldn't be buyer versus seller. It should be buyer works with seller. And this guy wanted to work with me and he was apologetic. He said, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to open a case. And of course, we worked it out. But this is something I've talked about for weeks. I really wish eBay would fine-tune it. They say they're streamlining communication. They're streamlining nothing. They're creating undue animosity. All right? Most of the times when cases are opened against you, the people don't want to do it. They don't mean to open a case. They're just saying, hey, you know, could I have my money back? Or I bought the wrong size or whatever. So it would be really great if eBay streamlined that, the returns process. Let's work it out. And eBay makes a big thing of saying, well, it's really not a case until the buyer escalates it. Yeah, but it doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound good for the seller. And put yourself in our position, all right? We're trying to be helpful to the buyers. Please don't make it adversarial. And also a person contacted me the other day where he had a problem with an item he purchased from a seller. So what he did was he clicked item not as described, okay? And he wrote to the seller. And the seller wrote back to him and basically said to him, go pound salt. So this buyer's waiting, and he's waiting, and he doesn't hear anything from eBay. So he writes to me and says, Joe, I contacted the seller 10 days ago, and the seller told me to go pound salt, and eBay hasn't jumped in. I said, buddy, eBay's not going to jump in until you escalate the case. Did you actually escalate it? Check. Go back to your resolution center and check. And sure enough, he writes to me the next day, oh, thank you, I didn't know I had to escalate it. eBay has acted immediately and given me my money back, he said. I said, great. There's an example of the system working the way it should. Remember, guys, if you do have a problem and the seller tells you to go pound salt, all you have to do is click the escalate button and eBay will jump in. It's simple. But I think most of the times with eBay, the way it is now, most sellers will not tell you to go pound salt because it's not worth getting kicked off eBay for a $50 item. Trust me. Okay? I'd like to show you a few pickups now, if I may. I talk a lot about my sales at eBay Motors, but let's talk about toy trucks and things like that and cars because I love talking about these things. Firstly, I want to thank my friend Kieran who sent me these discs. And you know the discs I'm referring to, Kieran. Thank you for sending them, and I will see that they're given to the proper people. Thank you. Next, here's an unusual item. This was not on eBay, but I happened to purchase it because it fits not only into my toy truck collection, but Pez collection. How many of you guys collect Pez dispensers? All right? This is really neat. A ShopRite truck / Pez dispenser. I plan to keep this for a while, and when it's like maybe 10 years old, I'll sell it, and I know that the person who buys it will eat the candy. You gotta love it. I also purchased these, collection of Hot Wheels, new in box. The price was right, and I just thought they were neat, so I wanted them. Okay? Also, here's an eBay pickup from the other day. This came. I'm going to show you these bad boys. You know I collect Hess toy trucks, but I also collect other trucks besides Hess. And here's an example right here. This one is a Shell tanker truck. Most gas stations market these things. All right? Here's one from Exxon. I collect all brands. I don't have any particular criteria. It has to be something that suits my fancy. I mean, if it catches my fancy and the price is reasonable, I'll bid on them or do the buy it now. But with these things, it's usually better to find an auction because you can get them fairly cheap. You know, if you stumble onto one. Lately, I've been watching some Gorgie toys. I mean, I love the old Gorgies that are new in box, but they bring some serious coin, especially the Green Hornet and the Batmobile. I'm not kidding you guys. They'll bring $500 like that. It's amazing how collectible some of them are, especially if they're NIB, new in box. That's the most important thing. All right, let's see where we're at here. Oh, I kept you long enough. All right, I guess that's going to be about it for this week. Comments below. I'm especially interested in comments about your experiences with eBay customer service lately. Anything to do with any open cases. Any collections you have. Like I collect a bunch of things, as you know. If you want to talk about your collections, that's great. If you've been harassed by the stalker, just the one stalker, you know who I'm talking about, I need to know about that. I received some screen caps from several of you guys. If the rest of you want to send yours to me too, it would be great for the case. PM me, we'll talk about that. And any concerns you have whatsoever, type below or you can PM me directly. I'm Crazy New York Driver and you're not. Thanks for watching. I will see you next Friday with a complete recap of the eBay webinar, which is going to deal with the global shipping program. If you can't be there, be here and we'll talk about it. Thank you guys. Rock on, man.